Hello, my name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and if I sound a little bit congested, that is because I am sick, but I am still making a video for you all, so can I get a round of applause? A round of applause, please. Clap if you think she should suffer. But anyways, for today's topic, we are going to be talking about cosmetic surgery. Woo! Yes, something that we should all get at least 10 or 11 times in our life. Now, keep in mind, we are going to be talking about plastic surgery solely in regards to aesthetic purposes, not, any type of reconstructive surgery because of like an accident or some other health condition or something like that. Now, the cosmetic surgery industry is a booming industry, okay? If people can pay to get pretty, they will. Nothing quite opens up someone's wallet faster than a beauty standard. And that really is the truth. Trying to be a baddie is probably one of the greatest weapons of capitalism. These procedures can range from the more minimally invasive, like Botox and fillers, to more intense surgeries like BBLs, breast augmentation, jaw surgery, nose jobs, the works. Now, we all know that cosmetic surgery is a luxury. There's even that saying that's like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. Because even though being beautiful obviously makes it easier to navigate through life, it's not a necessity, not a need. It's not on the base of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like, nice rack is not at the bottom of the pyramid, unfortunately, right? So it's not going to be covered by insurance. It's elective. I mean, even things that you literally need to live are sometimes not covered by insurance. So insurance is definitely not going to cover me, wanting to go from an A cup to a double D. So unless you're on nature's good side and you just happen to be genetically blessed, becoming the level of beautiful where it comes with societal advantages, it can come with the price tag. Natural beauty can be found in anyone, this is true. However, being able to maintain and enhance that beauty, that is not available to just anyone. Youth and attractiveness can only be manufactured for those deemed worthy to deserve it, right? AKA the rich. However, despite all this, there are many people who are so desperate to get plastic surgery that they will look for cheaper alternatives many times in other countries. There is such a thing as cosmetic surgery tourism, where we have people traveling to other countries solely for the purpose of getting plastic surgery at a more affordable price, round-trip ticket for a new dump truck. Now, let me be clear that, of course, other countries have talented surgeons in accredited facilities, and sketchy procedures can happen in the US too, not just abroad. But regardless, sometimes when people travel abroad for these surgeries, they don't do their research and they just want to have the cheapest option possible, or maybe they believe that they are in good hands, but they've fallen for false advertising when really the person they're seeing is not a professional. When something is cheaper, sometimes there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? And there's some things where it's like, when it's cheaper, it's like, yay, it's like, oh, this shirt was $3, hoorah, hoorah. But there are some things where it's like, I don't want it to be cheaper. Surgery being one of them, or if I'm like getting a tattoo and they're like, oh yeah, like, it's only gonna be like 50 cents. Huh? I don't want that. But some decide to take the risk and then they come back to the United States with an infection, a botched procedure, and medical debt that's only going to get bigger and bigger because of all these complications. According to this article from UT Southwestern Medical Center, the global medical tourism market has been valued at more than $100 billion per year. However, due to complications and the consequences associated, it costs the US health system $1.3 billion per year. And I know $1.3 billion compared to $100 billion doesn't seem like that much, but like, $1.3 billion, that's like Jeff Bezos's savings account, I think. He probably has more. More than 80% of U.S. plastic surgeons say they have cared for patients who traveled overseas for cosmetic procedures, managing infections, surgical complications, or attempting to salvage a botched procedure. While there are many good-intentioned, well-trained surgeons around the world, one thing is for sure: if the price of a cosmetic procedure seems too good to be true, the clinic is almost certainly cutting corners somewhere, and that puts your health and safety at risk. And then I'm just gonna read some of these headlines because I don't know if I can show the pictures because it might be too graphic. Florida woman loses nipples, nearly dies after botched plastic surgery abroad. Nearly dies? You wouldn't be able to have an open casket, or, well, I guess no one's nipples are normally showing during an open casket. You could still have it, girl. Woman claims cheap lip fillers left her with infected rock-solid sausages. Botched Brazilian butt lift leaves mom with lopsided rear after she was close to dying. Mom says botched weight loss surgery abroad turned her skin black and destroyed her life. I think that the normalization of plastic surgery has made people forget that it's still surgery. And it's like, can be a very serious thing. If you aren't at a facility that can give you like prophylactic antibiotics to prevent infection, or, you know, have the resources available in case you do have a reaction, or a sterile environment to do the procedure, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. Anytime you break the skin barrier, let alone introduce foreign matter into your body, there is going to be a risk for infection, okay? If you're getting a boob job and your surgeon walks in with 2 Ziploc bags full of clam chowder, run. You could literally leave this earth, or your life could be severely altered over something that really didn't even need to be done in the first place. But you know, I don't think these things always come up due to a lack of research. I think sometimes people do the research and then they decide that the risk is worth it because that is how badly they want to achieve a beauty standard. Okay, what do you mean you can't come to my wedding? You're my maid of honor. Okay, well, this is kind of hard for me to say, but I'm getting surgery. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. Is everything okay? No. What's wrong? It's honestly like pretty devastating for me to even talk about, so. Okay, yeah, no, we don't have to talk about it. Yeah, I'm just like really ugly. Is that a medical condition? Of sorts. Yeah. I'm gonna get a facelift and a boob job and a BBL. Sorry, hang on. You're missing my wedding so that you can get a facelift, a boob job, and a BBL. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for understanding, seriously. I'm gonna go abroad because it's so much cheaper, and there's this really well-renowned surgeon who messaged me on Instagram. He messaged me on his burner account because he said that his main account has way too many followers and he's way too famous and he didn't want to like intimidate me. So yeah, really considerate. What is this guy's name? I don't know his real name, but his Instagram username is Dr. Breastician McCheekums. Dr. Breastician McCheekums. Yeah, it's so cute, right? And then in his bio, it says, calling all uggos, come to Papa Bear and let me turn you into a honey. It's so funny, it's so quirky. Are you sure this man is board certified? Yes, of course. How do you know that? He told me. But yeah, I totally lucked out with him. I mean, who offers a facelift, a boob job, and a BBL all for only $45? $45? Yeah, so cheap, right? Yeah. Like alarmingly so. And it's super exclusive, like super underground. Right, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like literally underground, like it's in the subway system. What? Yeah, you do have to walk on the tracks a little bit, just like 1.5 miles or 2 miles, and you have to, you know, just watch for the oncoming trains. But once you get past all that stuff, then you can open this hatch door that they have, and you know, you have to use the crowbar that they leave out for the customers. But once you pry that open, you can go into the corridor, and then you have to climb up into the vents and then enter his office through the vents. Unfortunately, the vent is on the ceiling, so when you do enter his office, you kind of have to fall through the ceiling, but they lay down some newspaper to break your fall. Girl. What the fuck? Yeah, you're funny. I had that reaction too at first. I was kind of sketched out. I was like, this seems really dangerous and painful. And he was like, well, beauty is pain. And I was like, that is so true. Yeah, I guess. Now we are going to talk about plastic surgeon influencers. That's right, yeah. Me about to go under for my surgery, and the last thing I see is my surgeon doing the renegade over me. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the ethics of plastic surgery in general. Plastic surgery as a whole is ethical in the way that everyone who chooses to do it is getting it on their own free will. You know, no one is holding a gun to these people's head like, do you want lip filler or death? Everyone has the right to do what they want with their body, right? And it is objective that attractiveness can help with self-perception and how others perceive you and therefore how others treat you. Given that how you look is so ingrained into how others think of you and how they treat you, I don't blame you for getting work done. I mean, there's people who talk about getting plastic surgery or losing weight and all this stuff, and they are like, wow, you know, this is how hot people live in the world. That like people are opening doors for me and they're saying things like please and thank you. This is a whole new world. People who get plastic surgery as a whole, you know, I don't think that they're thinking about the indications for society overall. I think that they're just thinking about what it could mean for themselves and their own confidence in their own life, which is, you know, obviously fair. And to be honest, it can be a lot easier to chase a beauty standard than to change it. I mean, there was a point in time where I even, you know, thought about getting plastic surgery. Does that make me a bad person? No. You know what makes me a bad person is stealing money from the Make-A-Wish Foundation to fund my underage drinking business. But outside of us as individuals, it is undeniable that the driving force for this, you know, industry's humongous profit is people not liking themselves, the industry exploiting that, and then maintaining the notion that there are desirable and undesirable physical qualities. They're like the opposite of that one meme that's like, no, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy. They're like, no, don't love yourself. You're so ugly. You need surgery. Everyone has insecurities, and this industry preys and thrives off of these insecurities, feeds them, and then gives you a chance to change yourself, and is like dangling it in your face. Like, look over here, little Miss Uggo, just write us the check and you can have a better life. And what better place to deplete confidence for profit than in an online cage filled with impressionable, insecure young people? TikTok. Gotta love it. Some of these plastic surgeons have millions of followers, okay? They have very large audiences and like fan bases, basically. And don't get me wrong, okay? These surgeons aren't posting things that are overtly like, hey, you ugly teenager, yeah, you need surgery. Some of them post more educational content or comedic content, you know, not things that directly translate into negativity. However, the mere existence of plastic surgeons in general promotes an unhealthy beauty standard. And before social media and, you know, plastic surgeon influencers, young people were not as directly exposed to this industry unless they were going out of their way to do so. Something that I find can be especially harmful are those before and after posts. Right? Look what an ugly gargoyle I was before, and then I went to this doctor and he changed my face and now I'm a pretty, pretty princess. And I understand that a lot of these before and afters are coming from the patients themselves, you know, the people who got the surgery are posting their results. But if you're a surgeon and you're posting your before and afters, I mean, I understand that you want to show your work, but what you're doing is solidifying that there is an ugly way to look and then a pretty way to look, right? And then if you're also just posting jokes about people's bodies, or if you are giving any indication that there is a better versus worse version of a physical quality, then you are, you know, making insecurities for people in an even more active way that goes beyond just the very existence of your profession in general. In any field, you know, branding can be very beneficial. So I logically understand why they do it. But now it's like you'll see all these plastic surgery posts and then there's kids in the comments like, OMG, I need to get mine done. I can't wait till I turn 18. I'm so ugly, I hate myself. And for these before and afters, if you look like the before photo and then you see that everyone is commenting how much better they look in the after, of course that's gonna make you feel like shit. It's gonna make you feel like pure dung. You know, there's something that I feel insecure about, and I'm not gonna say it just in case someone out there also has that physical attribute. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hate myself because of this, and then you're gonna feel like you have to hate yourself too. But I have something that I'm insecure about, and I saw that there was a, you know, before and after post, and the girl in the before photo had the thing that I was insecure about. And then she got surgery on it, and then everyone was like, oh, you look so much better now. And I was like, oh, great. I don't think people who get plastic surgery are bad people, and I don't think that people who are plastic surgeons are inherently these, like, evil, conniving monsters. But what I do think is that these surgeons, no matter their intent, are a cog in the machine of vanity and unhealthy self-perception. And as long as it is thriving, it preserves restrictions and distinctions on what physical qualities are deemed beautiful and worthy of praise. Surgeons making themselves more accessible to young people, or just people in general, in combination with all the other stuff on TikTok that already makes people extremely insecure, it's not looking great. I understand that you want to do what's best for your practice so that you can make more money and expand your outreach and da-da-da-da. I get that, right? But if the money you're making depends on self-hatred, I mean, is there really anything else to say? Okay, what if I make a post that's like, follow me if you hate the way you look, Hashtag ugly, hashtag hideous, hashtag body negativity, hashtag not only do you have a face that only a mother could love, but the body is bad as well. You don't have a good body. I think it's a little too straightforward. Fuck, man! Okay, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Okay, my colleagues, I see their private practices are booming because they're big on TikTok, and meanwhile, I can't even get 50 followers. Your last post blew up, actually. Are you serious? Yeah, over 500,000 likes. The before and after of the nose job? Yeah, I mean, I guess people are really loving it. Congrats. Oh. What? You're blowing up, right? This is what you wanted. Be happy about it. Right. Yeah. It's just these comments, they're a little bit, no. What? What do you mean? I mean, this one says, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, but I'm not actually that sorry because God is the one who gave me this beak. I've been stealing money from my church for a nose job." And that is within her right. This one says, "Every day I hate myself more and more. I wish I was pretty like my sister. Maybe then my mom would love me." I mean, who knows? Maybe she really is that ugly. We don't know her. Well, my nose looks like the before picture, so I guess the rumors are true. I really am ugly. At least she has confirmation. This one just says, "I'm going to KMS." It has 3,000 likes. Maybe in this context, KMS stands for keep my sanity. And in that case, we should all KMS, right? We should want her to KMS. Maybe. Okay, listen, you can't help how other people feel, right? I mean, you're just doing your job. Yeah, but, my job does kind of depend on people being so insecure and hating themselves so deeply that they're willing to spend money to change their bodies. So... Well, when you put it like that, it's like, even though people use plastic surgery as a means to get more attractive or look younger, I think at a certain point, you can start to look unnatural, and then it might have the opposite effect than what you intended. As long as you are personally happy with your results, I mean, that's all that really matters, but I do think that people tend to be more attracted to the sort of natural beauty that, it looks like the type of beauty that's found its way onto your face with ease, not with knives and needles. I mean, there's even the makeupless makeup look because, people want to look as perfect as they can without looking too artificial. Although I'm sure some people really do like the plastic surgery look. I'm sure there's plenty of people salivating over, silicone boobs and buoyant BBLs. I have a friend who was even like, we were in a club and there was a woman who was like obviously gotten work done, not in a bad way, but just like in an objective way. And he saw her and he was like, "I love that look." Like, he was like, "I love when women look like they like are made of plastic. Like, if you were to like, I don't know, like they would melt over a campfire or something." Overall, with plastic surgery, I think the goal is typically to look as natural as possible, but that doesn't always happen. For some people, getting work done can be like tattoos. Once you get it once, it's like you want like more and more and more of it, and you become kind of like addicted. They're never quite satisfied. They feel like they can get better and better and look younger and younger, and then they just end up looking not like themselves, or sometimes not really that human at all. You have people trying to look like Barbies, people who can hardly move their face, people who are trying to change their race. Here are some other examples. I mean, with peace and love, like, I am just aghast right now, guys. And listen, like I said, if you're happy with how you look, then that's wonderful. And I do understand that, the whole topic of this video is supposed to be like not imposing negativity on how people look. But, for me personally, this is just my personal taste. I don't really think that the artificial look would look good on me, right? So if I were to ever get work done and I end up looking worse after, I would be devastated. Like, I just paid thousands of dollars to hate myself more? What a bargain. I mean, there's that whole show Botched where people are talking about like their plastic surgery mishaps where they went into the appointment like, yeah, I want to look like Sofia Vergara, and then they leave with like 2 flesh bowling balls on their chest that are harder than diamonds. I know I mentioned some of the medical risks of plastic surgery, but there's also just like the aesthetic risks of you not liking the result or other people not liking the result. And I know some people have the notion of, you know, I'm getting plastic surgery for myself, or I only wear makeup solely for myself, and this and that, and I believe that you believe that. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, like, society's opinions have influenced you at least a little bit to, you know, take the actions that you're taking. I know for me, if I'm getting plastic surgery, it's gonna be because of other people's opinions that have influenced my ideas of what is hot versus not hot, you know? Like, I'm not, any aesthetic choice I make, as much as I would like to think it's just for myself, I know it's not. So to get plastic surgery just for people, mostly people online, to be like, we hate it. You know, it's just, like, I saw a TikTok of a guy's nose job that he got in Turkey, and literally all of the comments were like, no, you ruined him, like, what did you do to our king? The caption says, they done fucked up my man. And then someone commented, Lord, I think this one may be worse. And then they just attached a different video of someone else's nose job. He was so sexy before. A crying shame. A crying shame. He looked uncultured afterwards. Horton here's a who having ass nose. Damn, bro, you used to look like a Greek god and now you look like you listen to podcasts. I guess it's, you know, it's inadvertently showing some love for bigger noses, right? Because this is one of those times where they like the before more than the after, right? Yeah, I mean, if I were that guy, I would be like, welp. It's just like spending so much money to look better only to look worse afterwards. I will be contacting the authorities. All right, Mrs. Wang, you are taking legal action against Dr. Breastician McCheekums. That's the name. Don't wear it out. Right. Well, we already said it enough times in the beginning of the video. Mrs. Wang is taking legal action against this person for false advertising, negligence, and emotional distress. That's right. I apologize if I did not meet Mrs. Wang's expectations, but is all of this really necessary? I mean, told you that I wanted to look like Angelina Jolie, and this is what you do to me? Listen, lady, I did the best I could. Your best is atrocious. Okay, my children started crying when I came home because they thought there was an intruder in the house. Well, maybe your kids are just pussies, and that's not my fault. You son of a bitch. All right, just order in the basement. All right, Jesus Christ, just, Mrs. Wang, please present your evidence for emotional distress. Well, Dr. Don't say the name. There's no need for that. Okay, well, the person in question posted a before and after on TikTok, and the comments were so brutal that it has caused me a severe hindrance to my mental health. One comment here reads, she looks like an ape tried to rip off her face, but then decided it was too ugly, so he tried to put it back. If aliens were invading the Earth and there was only one chance for me to get them to return to their homeland, I would show them this woman and they would make a U-turn immediately. Excuse me. Her tits look stiff like concrete. If I tried to motorboat her, my face would get road rash. Okay, listen, that's just hearsay. Or something. I don't fucking know. But listen, lady, if you didn't get the results you wanted, it's no big deal. You can just get all the stuff fixed for just like $30,000 out of pocket. It's like nothing. So overall, if you've thought about getting work done, you know, like I said, babes, it's your choice, it's your body, it's your life. And you know, let's face it, it's I really don't foresee a time where people will not care about looks. But the only way we will ever progress in regards to rigid beauty standards and physical insecurities is to, and I know this is so like cheesy or whatever, but honestly, it is to love yourself and encourage others to do the same. Obviously, that is extremely idealistic, okay? It's really giving, like, just look in the mirror and say, be happy, and then you shouldn't be depressed anymore. You know, like, oh yeah, just love myself. Why didn't I think of that? But if you find it hard to do just solely for yourself, you can think about the positive influence that it could have on others, right? And someone actually commented something on one of my videos. I think it was the one about like body positivity versus body neutrality, right? Where they said, learning to love yourself, you don't, okay, wait. It was like, if you can't love yourself solely for yourself, you can love yourself as an act against capitalism. And honestly, that's so true, because there are so many facets of the makeup industry, the skincare industry, plastic surgery. Like, this is only one facet of like so many where like insecurity and self-hatred, like that is the main factor of profit in so many industries. You should all watch the rest of my videos on my channel and just, you know, during the ads, tell yourself positive affirmations and make sure that the ad runs all the way through so that you can tell yourself more positive affirmations. Not so I can get more money. That's just, you know, a bonus. Or you can just get a boob job, you know, whatever. Anyways, I hope you all have a good day, and until next time.